You kind of
And I
have to
think
have
that's
a big
kind of like
audience.
what I'm speaking to, right? It's like at the end of the day, less is more. Like
Yeah,
maybe those two people that interacted, are going to make a bigger impact in the long term than if, however many people just shared crime and violence story. Like
yeah,
there's no depth to that. That's just in the moment, and it's like it's trendy and it's going to lose its hype right away. But cleaning up a park is going to maybe develop new habits, new
hmm,
friendships, right? Maybe it's going to have a follow up. It's
real
not like people are going to be
connections.
like, oh yeah, like I look forward to you sharing another violent post.
Yeah,
I look forward to
exactly,
interacting
right?
with you on there. Like, no,
It's super
that's not how it
discouraging when
should
it
work, at
seems like
least.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But I
no,
mean, yeah, you're right. That is the fact, right? It's like bad news travels faster, and that's just kind of, I don't know if it's human nature or if we're just so polluted by so much negativity that we're just
right.
easier to identify and promote that. So, back to your earlier question, what are my projects? Like, that's what my project is, man. Like, trying to not pre-program my daughters with just negativity. And honestly, that was
Nice.
a challenge last year. We had a lot of politics in the air that were just, upside down, that just felt really hard to smile, right? To
Yeah,
like look for something positive, in the midst of a pandemic and losing people and losing our ability to hug people and connect with people, like to have just so much violence and so much racism and so much like just ignorance,
yeah.
that reminding myself to be in the moment, take a deep breath, and just, again, making a fewer connections but more meaningful collection goes a long way.
Absolutely. I think that's kind of why I like Twitch too. When I streamed on YouTube first, I have like a small following on YouTube, so like people would drop in once in a while, but everyone who dropped in was always positive, and I would see names that I recognized coming in more than once and saying, "Oh, hey, how's it going today? And what are you going to play today?" And general excitement. And Twitch has that same vibe, and I know that sometimes we'll get trolls or people being weird, but I feel like that's a lot of platforms. But the people who do
Yeah,
stick around and stay, they have to actually specifically follow you. They're not just getting an algorithm feed. They're getting people that they followed
yeah.
and want to watch content for. So I feel like it's a lot. It kind of is a little bit closer of a community. So I'm excited to try it out. I'm still super new to it, but it seems like it has a lot of potential.
Well, I know that we're on Twitch right now. I mean, are you able to like shout out the other streaming sites, or is there like some affiliate rule where you can't
Oh, I could shout them
give
out. Yeah,
promo?
yeah. I could
Oh,
talk about
okay.
them. I just
Well, I
can't
mean, I was
put
just
this
gonna
video
say,
on.
like, you get so much love on YouTube, that it just feels like you definitely have a good network there as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, just a shout out to the whole YouTube community there, man. Like,
Absolutely. Thank
it's
you.
just different vibes, man.
Yeah, YouTube has been really exciting. It's just a different kind of revenue stream. Like most of my revenue comes from existing videos and past videos, whereas Twitch is more instant. Like if you have a certain amount of subscribers, you know exactly how much you're getting that month, things like that. While on YouTube, it's all based on views. It's all based on how many thousands of people have seen it. So
Mm.
one person on YouTube might earn me 2 cents. One follower or one subscriber on Twitch is $5.
Oh
So
wow.
it's a really huge potential difference. Not to say that I'm not making okay money on YouTube or that it's a bad platform. It's just a really different type of system. So, obviously, not being super rich,
Yeah.
I do pursue revenue sources that can help me stay afloat. So hopefully
Of
this one
course. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a good revenue
Yeah,
source for that.
no shame in that. That's dope, man. And again, you becoming part of an affiliate program here, that's definitely huge as well, man. So
Yeah, that's
big
exciting.
milestone there, and just yeah, big congrats, going your way for that one, bro.
I appreciate that. I
Much
get
love.
jealous a lot. Like I feel like I'm like I've been on Twitch for like a pretty long time too, and it takes a really long time to get subs. Or like even on YouTube, I've been there for what, like
Mm,
8 years or something, and it's just that slow climb. So just actually seeing things happen is exciting. Like I see everyone else growing and getting bigger and
yeah.
celebrating their successes. I'm like, I'm just
But
kind
I
of
feel like
waiting. Maybe someday
that
they'll
slow and
find me.
steady that slow and steady climb you got going right now, though, it's great, man. I mean, honestly, it's like you're
Yeah,
not going anywhere. It's only going to keep getting better and better.
I hope
And
so.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I try not
I
to like discourage myself by looking at other creators too much, because like you obviously get the people first page of YouTube when they make an account and post something some meme up or something, and then they're a million subs in, and you know, it's a little discouraging to have created content for 8 years and barely reach any of those milestones as well. So like, it is difficult sometimes to stay motivated, but then it's also like, seeing where I am now, I would have been so excited when I started. Like, I still see posts for myself being like, oh my god, guys, thank you so much, I got 1,000 views. And that seems like nothing to me now because I have higher goals, but I do have to look back sometimes and be like, this is what I wanted. I'm doing what I wanted now, and I'm getting thousands of views, and it's making an impact. So it's exciting, especially seeing comments come in. I feel like on Facebook I have nothing but angry comments, and on YouTube it's like, oh my god, thanks, you helped me fix my problem, or oh, you saved my computer, or like just constant praise. So it's like an ego fix. Whenever I feel too down, I just go read comments on YouTube.
And that's kind of what I meant earlier about like every platform has its vibe, bro. Like,
yeah,
honestly.
And it's different for every person too. Some people post on YouTube and get hate, and I post and get love, and then I post on Facebook and get hate, and other people get love, and it all depends. You got to find your spot.
It's that algorithm, man. There's going to be good days and bad days, and I'd say just don't lose that discouragement, because you definitely have a lot to offer, Mike. You know,
I appreciate
definitely
it.
Keep rocking.
Thanks.
Now, one thing that I think is part of the conversation here, just to kind of throw it out there, one of the things that Twitch is definitely dope about is that they let you play music. You know, like they're not going to kill your signal because, you know, it's copyright, right? Or because of whatever. Like I feel like when I was doing the radio show and I had to go on Instagram, if I plugged in directly to the mixer and I gave you guys a really clean sound, it would pretty much get kicked offline. And so with that in mind, Twitch has been very welcoming to DJs, you know, to the music community.
I've literally been hitting up a bunch of DJs for
that. A long way.
I hit you up, and I hit up a bunch of DJs that I follow. I hit up DJ Luna. I think it's an amazing platform for music specifically. And I know they have their random DMCA Twitch bans where they go through and just like cite a bunch of people or warn a bunch of people. But compared to YouTube, it was an immediate strike for me. Well, warning, I should say. I streamed on both Twitch and YouTube, and my YouTube stream was shut down about halfway through. So it is a lot more open on Twitch, so that's exciting for music and gameplay.
Most definitely. And I think for all those reasons, I mean, I don't know what the next platform is going to be, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think I have ideas in terms of like what could work. I know like Discord has, you know, the ability to do this, right? Where we can share our screen, share your camera, right? The voice communication, the text channels. I mean, there's just so much potential there to build, you know, and it goes back to like almost like a forum-ish type of vibe, where you could have extended conversations or a revolving type of theme in different rooms. So I think the potential's there, you know. It's just a matter of like, how do you migrate people into it and let them know just how powerful it is? Because I mean, I kind of see it almost like a classroom. Like each Discord server could be a class, you know, and they all have a specific purpose, right? And so it could be built in a way where, you know, if you architect it and you know, plug people in and you train them, I mean, like, what more do you need? You don't really need social media at that point, you know. Like, you have all your content there. You have the ability to share, to connect, you know, call mom, call grandma, call whoever, right? Like, everybody could be able to tap into that. So
I think it's pretty fitting that a lyricist would choose creating a community where you can talk as a next project. I think that's great.
We'll see, man. Honestly, like I said, first and foremost, family, and then growing professionally, man. I mean, you know, there's no reason to kind of hide that aspect of it. I feel like working from home is definitely kind of blended the lines, where before I'd be able to kind of compartmentalize and I'd leave the house and think about work, and I'd come home and not think about work. But now it's like, you know, just continuing to grow, develop, you know, I mean, and especially in technology, I mean, slowing down for a little bit just, you know, completely sets you back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you got to be a step ahead of the curve and really keep your finger on the pulse, because it's just such a rapidly, you know, moving kind of a subject.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, back in the day it was what, HTML, CSS, and then, you know, I felt like a champ. Now it's all these different frameworks, mainly revolving around JavaScript, it feels like. You know, like everything's UI based.
I've been being pushed hard into JavaScript.
Yeah, I mean, is that something that you've still been working on? I know that you've been asking me a lot of questions, so I'm gonna kind of flip it to you. What kind of technology stacks are you working in these days?
So mostly it's game engines. It's mostly different game engines. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to actually just stick to one game engine. Um, Initially, when I started teaching, I was like, I'm going to use Unity because it's really easy, or easy to pick up at least. And then Fortnite came out and everyone wanted to learn Unreal Engine. So I was like, all right, I'm going to learn Unreal Engine instead, and I'm going to do that. And then I went to another school where they wanted to use Unity specifically, so I switched back. And I feel like because I kept having to switch between game engines, I kind of developed more of an understanding of how they work as opposed to the specific features. And now I feel like when I pick up new engines, I could just kind of create in them without learning, and it's
Nice.
starting to
That's got
feel
to be a great feeling then.
really comfortable.
There's,
Yeah,
so there's no more learning curve. You're just jumping into any engine and filling up the
yeah. Or
tank.
if there are
I see.
issues,
I see.
it's very like I can figure it out, or I know how to figure it out, or what to look up and things like that. And it just becomes like it's exciting to be able to create. And that's why I've been trying to do this project, because like my writing gig is creating courses for schools.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
So my last course was a game design course for high school students in Unity. The course before that was a middle school game design course. I also did a web design course, and I did computer science. And then the one I'm writing right now is actually game design, but for Chromebooks. And this is where the JavaScript thing comes in. Chromebooks can't run any game engines. So the game engine we're using is actually completely web-based and uses JavaScript as their scripting backend.
Wow,
So
that's amazing. Is it using like
yeah,
Web GUI or whatever it's called? I'm probably
WebGL, yeah.
butchering the term. Okay.
Yeah, it's using WebGL, and it's full 3D. It renders beautifully too. It looks amazing, almost like Unreal Engine. So it's exciting to see that in a web engine. So I started learning more JavaScript for that. I remember back in the day, I don't know if it was just me, but there was a little bit of a hesitance to JavaScript, and a lot of programmers avoided
Oh yeah.
using it.
Yeah.
And
No, that's me, 100%.
I was very
Yeah.
much on board with that. Well, that like JavaScript looks awful. It's not formatted very nicely and all this stuff. But then recently, it became kind of the standard. So
That's exactly my point, man. It's
yeah,
like, man, I was installing no script. Like, you don't get to run JavaScript on my browser.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know? And I remember being told, like, Ricardo, you're like the only person in the whole world that like disables JavaScript. I'm like, no, there's other people like me.
Yep.
I know it, all right? But like,
Just
I
like
was just so
disabling
reluctant to
Flash
learn it.
now, we got to.
Yeah, and now it's like Angular, React. I mean, those are like
Yeah.
two very popular, UI frameworks. But even like jQuery, like I feel like,
jQuery
I
is
mean
my favorite.
that's everywhere, right?
Yeah,
Like you can open up the console and type the little dollar sign and it's there.
yeah,
Tap into it.
jQuery is my favorite. Angular is the one that I'm gonna have to take on professionally next. I'm working on an AR project with a friend of mine for an environmental impact filter, and it's gonna
That's awesome.
show
Yeah.
how much trash we um, create, or how much
I think
waste
I've been
we
seeing that.
create.
Is that where you're putting like the stacks of? I think you just
Yeah.
added texture a week or two ago.
Yeah, so you're gonna be able to compare, like, stand next to your car or something and see how much trash in real space you actually create in a day, a month, a year, and then
Wow,
how,
that's powerful.
and then beyond that, because 97% of the waste we create is actually industrial. So we don't actually see most of the waste we create from what we buy. So after it shows them how much they use in a year, they might even be like, oh, that's not that much. And then when it shows the industrial rate waste difference, I feel like that's going to be the eye opener for that project. So that's
That's
been
huge,
really
man.
exciting.
Honestly, like.